This podcast is sponsored by ebookit.com, self-publishing solutions for the independent author and small press. Visit us today at ebookit.com. Welcome to the Toastmasters Podcast, the official podcast of Toastmasters International. Hello and welcome to episode number 0 of the Toastmasters Podcast. My name is Bo Bennett.
And my name is Ryan Levesque.
And in this episode, we're going to give you an overview of what this podcast is going to be about. What is the Toastmasters Podcast? What is a podcast? Who we are, their schedule, ideas for shows, and some contact information. So let's start with the question, Ryan, what is the Toastmasters Podcast?
Well, Bo, the Toastmasters Podcast is the official podcast of Toastmasters International, where we speak with authors of articles in the Toastmaster magazine. We speak with world champions, past, present, and future, as well as individuals who are doing great and wonderful things all across the Toastmasters organization.
That's pretty much it. And how about a podcast? What is a podcast for those people out there who have not heard of that term before? How would you define it?
A podcast is like a radio show, but delivered through the internet. It could be listened to on an MP3 player, maybe an iPod, or listened to right off the web.
That's pretty good. The Wikipedia defines a podcast as a series of digital computer files, usually either digital audio or video, that is released periodically and made available for download by means of web syndication. So basically, Ryan, all those fancy words mean exactly what you said. Well done.
Thank you, Bo.
Now, who are we? Bo and Ryan. Let's start with you. I know who I am. Do you know who you are?
I know who I am.
Who are you?
My name is Ryan Levesque. I've been a Toastmaster for about 8 years. I've served in probably every officer role at the club level, as well as area governor at the district level.
All right. My name is Bo Bennett, and I've been a Toastmaster for about 8 years as well. Maybe 7.
What a coincidence.
Yeah. And I've served in all the officer roles. I even made it up to Lieutenant Governor of Marketing for my district. And I'm also the guy who created the Free Toast Host project. Still working on that with my buddy Brian McDonald, who does a lot of the technical work. And now we're doing the podcast. And we're very honored to be doing this with Toastmasters International.
Absolutely.
And when, Ryan, are we going to be doing these podcasts?
We'll be recording the podcast every Wednesday of every week. And the podcast will be released to the listening audience sometime shortly thereafter.
All right. Now let's talk a little bit about the ideas for the shows. What is in store for the listeners, Ryan?
Well, first of all, Bo, I think just knowing your personality, knowing my personality, we don't want these podcasts to be dry and boring. We want to keep them entertaining. But of course, we want them to be educational as well. We want to really, in a short amount of time, deliver content that's going to inspire and educate our listening audience.
And contact information. What if somebody wants to contact us?
Sure. Well, folks may want to contact us in the coming days, weeks, and months to give us their ideas for shows or maybe suggestions of how we can improve the show, make it even more educational and entertaining for you. And there are several ways you can get in touch with us to do that. One is by sending us an email, podcast@toastmasters.org. Another option is to call our listener voicemail feedback number. That's 1-888-451-8862. How else can folks contact us? If you're on Twitter, you can contact us through Twitter. Our Twitter ID is @TheTMPodcast. That's twitter.com/TheTMPodcast.
And you can also find information about our podcast in 2 different websites. The first one is toastmasters.org, the main Toastmasters website, /podcast. That's where you can get some of the latest episodes if you like to listen to the podcast directly from your web browser online in front of your computer. Or you could also go to our website directly, which is toastmasterspodcast.com. And you can find all the latest episodes there as well.
Cool. And if you happen to be a user of iTunes, you can find our podcast listed there and subscribe to our feed. Just search for Toastmasters Podcast in iTunes. You'll see us there and be able to subscribe and have the podcast delivered directly to your computer at your convenience.
All right. Well, I think we said it all. That's about it. A good introduction to the podcast, what to expect and who we are and what podcasting is. So I think we'll leave it at that, and I invite all of our listeners to join us on our first official episode numero uno, which will hopefully be out within the next week. Sometime soon.
Very soon.
We'll leave it at that. All right, folks, thank you very much for joining us. I'm Bo Bennett.
And I'm Ryan Levesque.
Take care.
Isn't it about time you published that book you've been thinking about? We can help with that. At ebookit.com, we've been providing authors and small presses with ebook publishing services since 2010. Visit us today at ebookit.com and let us know how we can help you.